I've been doing a family tree. That's where I've been. Nowhere very far. I know you've all been like, where's Elise gone? I'm sure. Yes. Well, where I've been is just nowhere. I've been doing the family tree and I've been doing it online. I've done an online course and it's halfway through and I've been looking through and I haven't really found anything exciting. It's got to be said. At Christmas time, my dad got one of those DNA testing kits because he's like, oh, I've always wanted to know where I come from. So we're still waiting for the results of that. I thought by now that it would come and then I could tell you all about what my dad, you know, where he came from and maybe that we were related to Richard III or something. But obviously that's not going to happen. It won't happen anyway, but I haven't got the test. Well, it's in the lab stage apparently, so it's soon. I'm sure it will come soon and I'll be really excited and I'll have something to say. In the meantime, I've been looking through. On my dad's side, it's mainly miners and a few agricultural labourers and a few child labourers. There's quite a few young boys that go down the pit and a few girls that were working in ironworks, like pouring the molten iron into the pits and probably falling in and dying in horrible ways. So nothing, it's pretty working class, my dad's family. There's a few people from Staffordshire, like Dudley, that sort of area. So I'm from the West Midlands. Ooh, I didn't know that. And there's a few people from like Somerset, Gloucester. Like my dad's great-grandfather, I think, came from Westdean in Gloucester, St Bravils, which is just on the Welsh border. But everyone else seems to be sort of Welsh-based. I've gone back about 200 years. I can't really get any further than that. The richy rich people, I looked a little bit on some other people's family trees to sort of test it out, and some of the richy rich people you can go back quite far and they don't seem to move very far. They've got family lands, but the people that had to go looking for work, just migrating across the land, that they you can't really trace them because they turn up somewhere you weren't expecting them. It's like, well, and also names, that's a difficult thing. Like I've got a few names, family names, I can't find really very far with. Harris is a bit of a common old one. So that's the trouble with that, is there's so many Harrises. Have I got the right one? Jacob on my dad's side, it's not such a common name. You'd think, oh, that'll be easy to find. Still not. I've gone as far back as Daniel Jacob, born either 1806, 1807, 1808 or 1811. It's the same guy, but on 3 censuses, he's got different birth dates and different where he comes from. It's the same guy. It's definitely the same man. Can't trace him back. I know when he got married, but I found him as Dan rather than Daniel, which was a tricksy thing to do. And then I can't get any further. So he sort of appears in 1838 and he's nowhere to be seen before that. I've looked, I can't find him anywhere. I found what I thought might be him in, there's like Abergavenny, which is just near where my parents are. I found 2 days ago a Catholic church record in Abergavenny where it said Williami with a G-U-I, and he was married to Mariae, and they had a son, Danielus Jacobus, and I thought, oh, that's it, it's gone all Latin. So it's possible that he was Catholic, and he's the first Catholic I've found. I haven't found any other Catholics. There's been, you know, I've got Jewish relatives, but they're mostly by marriage. My grandmother always said that we had Jewish relatives in London. I can't find any trace of how that could be. But we do have Jewish relatives, but they're because other people married them and I know about them. They're more recent than that. My dad is also convinced that there might be black ancestry, but I can't find anything to do with that. But obviously the DNA might say differently. But I can't get further back than about 1800, so it's really complicated and hard to find anybody. What I did find is I was like really looking for a great grandmother. I couldn't find her anywhere, and I found that her name was Rachel Allsop, and I was like, how can I find her? And I found this free site that you could go to, and then I found that she comes from a little tiny place in sort of Gloucester area, and then I could trace that whole family back really far because they'd all stayed in the same place, and then I traced them back again. Some of the people had come to the area where my parents live now, in about 1840, and I thought, what's happened next? What happens next to them? And they all of them travelled to America. So I've got relatives in America I didn't even know about, and that was really good because that whole family that had gone to America had really, somebody's really gone into it and traced it. I've got no idea who it is, but there were like pictures and gravestones and everything. So there's a bunch of people, all different people that moved to America. I can't remember where, Maryland or somewhere. I'll have to look that up. There's about 1 million people that I found, so it's really difficult to work out and remember who they are. But there are difficult things with the names, like I said. On my mum's side, there's Luxtons, who are from the Devon sort of Somerset area, but it's spelled Luxton, but sometimes they spell it without the T, and sometimes, my mum's side, I got it as far back as somebody called Richard Luxton, who is also sometimes called Luxon, and we found a newspaper cutting that somebody from Canada sent us, because he had 2 families. He had 3 children, and my great-grandfather was one of them, who moved to Wales, and then he had another family because his first wife died, and he had about 6 kids, and most of those moved to America too. So there's even more, loads of people in America. Oh, they're all over the world, these people, all in America. But there was somebody who went to Australia called Karen Happuck, which it turns out is actually the name of the youngest daughter of Job from his second family, because it's a second family. So I'm like, oh, what happened to his first family? That must have been, I don't know, because there's like 2 sisters that I can't really trace. So I think lots of people might have died. But then the second family, he left them. He left them all to go to the poorhouse. And there was a newspaper cutting, these Canadian people sent me, that had, he abandoned them, and there was a little thing about how he was a dark-skinned fella with curly hair and missing fingers on his right hand, and often wears a Jim Crow hat and some sort of, I don't know, it sounded like white trousers, and so we don't know whether he turned to be he was a sailing man. So maybe, because I've looked, there's lots of people with his same name that got married about that same time, but only about 4 people who seem to have been born with that same name. So about 48 marriages for 4 people. So possibly he just went around getting married more and more. We can't find what happened to him after that. There's about 4 people that died at various different stages. He might have had yet more wives. There might be millions of people in Devon that are related to me. I don't know, but I'm still waiting for the DNA for my dad's side. My mum's side, another thing, Mayers. That's another difficult one, because Mayers, M-A-Y-E-R-S. But then you go back and it's M-A-R-E, M-E-I-R, M-A-R-E, M-A-Y-E-R. It's just all different things, and we think that they came from Stafford. So there's Thomas Mayers, 1798 to 1860, married to Sarah James. I'm pretty sure we got those right. He was born in Staffordshire. It says Long Lane, but I don't know, because we can't actually find whether he was born there. I can't find the right records. So it's an interesting thing for me, but probably not for anyone else, because there's nothing exciting and nobody really, like, there was a Who Do You Think You Are thing with Danny Dyer, and he traced himself back to, or they traced him back to, like, the Edward II or something. One of the Edwards. Possibly Edward III. Possibly Edward I. Anyway, he was like king stock. So I thought, oh, maybe everybody's really, if you keep going far enough, you can get to the king's dog. But so far, no luck. I can't find any trace that I am the rightful heir to Great Britain. Which is a shame, because I'm sure I could do a really good job of being the ruler. Anyway, I'm just going to wait for the DNA, so really patiently. Like, when is it coming? Send me the DNA, quickly. All right then. Back to the grindstone, looking for the relatives. Bye-bye.